You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Motorcycle taxi Angkas joins the roster of Steward Leadership awardees for 2022. Angkas is one of the 25 globally recognized enterprises for its innovation in the country's transport sector. The company was also cited for upgrading the livelihood of motorcycle taxis to where it is now. Let's go straight to the sources of the story. We have CEO George Royeca and Angkas founder Angeline Tam. George, Angie, good morning to both of you, and it's good to see you again.
Good morning. Good morning, Pinky. Hi. Nice to see you again.
Okay, so congratulations for making it to the Steward Leadership 25 roster together with Ayala Corporation. So let's go to you guys. Efficient, they called it efficient and economical option for transportation that legitimized the habal-habal riders. This started 5 years ago. Angie, George, looking back 5 years ago to now, how has the journey been for both of you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey. It's been quite a exciting one, but we are really, really committed to our cause, no? And really recognizing this informal sector. You know, we didn't invent the motorcycle taxi. The habal-habal has been there. All we did is professionalize service. We invested in the Filipinos. We believed in the Filipinos, and then look what's it turned out. Yeah, it created an entirely new industry and is benefiting tens and thousands of Filipinos with livelihood opportunities.
Was this the brainchild of Angie, or was this the brainchild of George?
I'm just taking the credit from Angie, but she's the founder. She's really the one who was really irritated with traffic. So Angie, maybe you can tell a little.
Yeah. I mean, coming from Singapore, it blew my mind that people could spend 2 to 3 hours in traffic one way and come to work happy, right? And I thought, wow, Filipinos are awesome, right? But there has to be a better way of getting people around from one place to another. So that's really how Angkas was born. And it was also such a pleasure to see that we're able to do good as well, because through the business, we're able to help so many motorcycle drivers along with our customers.
But when you saw that was missing here in the country, when you realized that people should not go through, 2 hours, 3 hours of traffic, when you and George discussed this and it finally was set in motion, what were the challenges you knew you were going to face, and you actually did, upon legitimizing this motorcycle taxis?
Well, maybe I can touch on that, right? We actually didn't think that there were challenges. I think that was a little bit of naivety. When you're a young entrepreneur, you feel like you can do anything. We're glad that we had that, that mindset. In the first 6 months, we were rock stars. I think there was a huge product market fit. We went from 0 to almost 10,000 bikers, tens and thousands or even hundreds of thousands of downloads. But unfortunately, what we uncovered was, a bit more complicated. And that was really the start of our regulatory journey over, I think we're going into 6 years, Pinky, this December.
Oh, I thought it was, I thought it was your 5th year. And okay, going on to 6. So regulatory problems, those things you had to face. But in terms of, let's talk about the business and the public as well. What were the things you thought that was easy, but actually turned out quite tough in terms of the riders and the motorcycle drivers and the riders?
Maybe I'll touch on the bikers and she can touch on the commuters. For me, the bikers is, there was really no formal education for riding a motorcycle. So a lot of people really were used to tricycles, which really doesn't fall down because it has a sidecar. But when you take that out, people still think that motorcycle on 2 wheels is a tricycle. So I think that was the biggest hurdle that we had, is how do we now professionalize and institutionalize the training of motorcycle taxis so that we can have very, very, set the bar high in terms of the service level. And of course, the safety, which we were committed to from the very, very beginning. But I think from the commuter side, there was still a stigma, right?
Yeah, I mean, so when we first started, right, people who tried the service really loved it. And we thought, hey, do you want to? And so I called up some of my customers. They write us 2-3 times a day. I said, can you do me a favor? I know you love us. Can you, tell your friends about it, post on social media, give us a shout out. And they were like, I'm sorry. I love you guys, but I can't do it. Because if I put it on social media, like my friends will berate me, my grandmother would hear about it, and I stop 1 street away from my house just so that no one sees me on a motorcycle. So there was a very strong stigma against riding a motorcycle back then, and that's something that we had to overcome one step at a time. Yeah.
And
So, but now people can't imagine without the service, right? But back in the day, completely different scenario.
Yeah.
So
It was not cool to ride a motorcycle back then.
now it is. So midway though, from the time you guys started, going 6 years, so it seems like you got hit by the pandemic midway. What were the innovative things you did during the pandemic to be able to help two sectors, your riders and the commuting public?
I think we pivoted very quickly, because of our history. Getting shut down was actually kind of like another day in the office, but of course the magnitude of the pandemic was much, much bigger. But we were ready from a digital perspective on how to pivot, how to move, how to be a bit more agile. We created a concierge service for our bikers, right? And we partnered with our competitors so that we can share bikers and really make sure that they have enough, right? Because for one company to really cover the business opportunities that they had, the bookings was not enough. So we had to partner with our own competitors so that we can make sure that they had a little bit of everything. They had a job here, they had a job there. So I think from an innovation standpoint, we really learned the habit of pivoting very, very quickly and through the years. And this was something that we had to do during the pandemic, as everybody else.
And as Angie,
I mean, it's also to
sorry, Angie being the founder,
Sorry,
I want to find out from you where you envision this in the next maybe couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've seen is that Angkas is a really great way to help our bikers with their livelihood, right? To help bring them out of the poverty line as well, because a biker on Angkas can make double, triple minimum wage on a daily basis. And I think this is something that's been very powerful for not just themselves, but their families. So I think one of the goals that we have is that we want to bring this throughout the Philippines, to all the 18 million motorcycle riders out there, motorcycle bikers out there, to allow them to use Angkas as a platform to help take themselves out of poverty. And hopefully this is something we can do to end poverty in the Philippines, right?
Pinky, every single biker on our platform is out of the poverty line. They take care of their families. They're looking at a second business. Some of them have opened up motorcycle repair shops. Others have their own side trade business. And really created a whole ecosystem on this sector, right? In terms of not just entrepreneurship, but also livelihood opportunities within the family. So now that we're moving them from one income family household to two income family household. But we have a long way to go. We only have 30,000 riders. There are 18 million motorcycle owners that are low-income family households in the entire country. And what we want to do is really extend these livelihood opportunities to all 18 million motorcycle owners. And if we're able to do that, imagine just a dream, right? If we're able to take 18 million Filipinos out of the poverty line, that will really help and really uplifting not just the Filipino people, but our entire country. In the next few years, we can do this in our lifetime. We can really end poverty in our lifetime.
Again, congratulations to Angkas CEO George Royeca and Angkas founder Angeline Tam. Thank you to you both. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.